Well, we have here a DC-14, and if you're not familiar with the DC-14, it is one of the discontinued models. Did this get the axe on the support list? There is a Dyson list of the models that got the axe.
Oh, I didn't see that memo.
But this is maybe one of the machines with a clutch. I feel this is like one of the more stable versions. There's actually a lot of different versions that are basically the same vacuum. If you saw my DC-07 video, it's basically the same vacuum. A DC-33 is also the same. But the 14 is a little different. A couple things different with the 14 is the Cyclone Design. This was the first one we got, at least in America, where the Cyclones were a lot simpler. You can actually look inside there, and the filter was located right there instead of here. And now you could actually shove a filter in there, but there's not supposed to be one in there. Yeah. Other than that, the chassis is different but looks the same. So the cleaner head is mostly the same right here, but this yellow piece is actually a different assembly, so it gets complicated. Now also, this shares the Cyclone from the DC-15 because they came out at about the same time, but does not have, you can see where the molding marks are, but does not have the no filter hold open mechanism that the 15 had. So it's kind of a stripped down. It was always kind of a budget model, but it ended up being more successful though than the 15. So the first
it was
thing,
more reliable and easier to use.
Yeah. I think this was. There was a time when maybe this was.
I'd rather work on this. I'd rather work on 10 of these than one 15.
Yeah, so I would say as far as like actual practicality, if there was a time where if you bought a Dyson, maybe this was the best Dyson you could buy. Just to give you an example.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to check the filter real quick. And the key to doing this is to slide the screwdriver. You're not actually wedging, we're going to slide the screwdriver. And that's the key to, hopefully, not breaking off your tabs on this. So you know sometimes you get a screwdriver out to change a filter. That should never be the case, I think, on a vacuum.
Well, they claim this to be...
They claim this to be a lifetime filter. We all knew that was bullshit to begin with. And you can see where the stuff is just leaking out the side. And you see there's stuff that's not carbon dust in here. So that whole argument that it won't ever fill up with carbon dust, that's bullshit. So that will need to be changed. Here's the new one, genuine Dyson part.
Yeah,
you're out of right there. And then,
it to you.
Yeah. So this is the filter that's there.
I prefer the DC-15 style.
The DC-15, yes, because you actually don't need the hole on the 14 or the 15.
No.
And the nice thing about
this... Made this design.
This has a little bit more airflow without the donut shape.
Less dust intrusion to the second stage.
Yeah. So this is actually a better filter. That would fit right in there. So that's going to have to be done. Now, there's a couple other things on here. This is the point where we've now checked the filters. Just run it. To run it, I'm going to put the old one back in.
Yeah. We're going to dirty the new ones until he approves the repair.
Yeah, until they approve the repair, until we've also done the service. I don't want to just...
Yeah, you never want to put brand new filters in a filthy machine.
Yeah.
It's pointless. You're just defeating your own purposes.
So we are going to turn it on. Part of what we did, maybe it's quieter with the Cyclone on there.
Yeah, you won't.
So you can hear two things by listening to this one. One, there's a blockage or clog. And
Probably
two,
filters.
Well, thank you. The clutch. This is always something I talk about. This is a clutch mechanism. And when this needs to be replaced, it's time to bring it to an authorized service center or a vacuum shop that knows what they're doing.
Yes.
That's because this clutch sits in here. These rubber belts wear out. They dry rot, whatever. There's also a actual clutch in here. There's actually a clutch material.
And it requires very special...
It requires a special set of tools. And that's all you're going to see of those. Because they don't make those anymore.
Nope.
So you're going to need to know somebody who's been in business for a little while. So now, this is the part of the Dyson that is problematical. So we're going to pull that filter off. And the reason we're going to pull the filter off, and again, you don't have to do it as many times as I did, you can do all this, but for camera, is now it is a flat surface, and the vacuum can be worked on in a normal manner. Now, if you don't normally work on vacuums in this manner, this is the best way to work on most upright vacuums. And it's kind of really the only way you're going to get
a lot of them I
stuff.
actually prefer to lay out long ways.
You
But
can
this
lay
doesn't work on a Dyson.
This is how it has to sit on the bench. Sanitaire is the same way. Hoover convertible. I'm thinking more legacy stuff.
Even those I usually do lay them out.
So, next
These you have to do this
issue we're going to address a couple things. Now, with the 14 for big pickup, they put this little gap here. Never really did anything. Oh, we also have a new brush. But the first thing I want to talk about is we're going to check the stub tube. Or this hose, internal hose, I think.
Internal hose, yes.
The internal hose should pop this nozzle up. Should always pop the nozzle up like so. But this one, it's all clapped. So, internal hose needs to be replaced. Sometimes you can flip them around, but really, it's a cheap part, replace it. Now, there is some contention with this.
That should be springy.
Yeah, it should be
I do not
springy.
cut or trim these at all. No.
You don't do that.
I put them in as Dyson intended, because how would that be hard on your carpet? Good God.
Yeah, it's a cheap part. So now you got a brush roller. And actually the brushes aren't too worn on this brush roller. The bearings actually don't feel too bad.
Yeah, that one we might actually just...
We might save that brush roller, but here's what a new one looks like so you have an idea. They never really had a lot of bristles on them. And when you take the brush roller out, it should spin freely like so. And that's most brush rollers, not all, but
this one actually feels pretty good.
Yeah, that one feels pretty good. So now comes the question of how does the brush roller come out? We got the belt, we got all this stuff. Well, we're actually going to force it out. Reggie, you want to force that out? Show them. Bam. So that's how you force it out. And we'll talk about putting that in a minute, because that's a later thing. But the thing is, you got to get it out to clean it. And then this is where the special tool comes in handy. And now, of course, I know there's a blockage in the vacuum. We're going to start looking for the blockage. So nothing in the YouTube.
I'm going to wager a soggy Benjamin that the clog is actually the filters.
The filters might actually be the clog, because it's pretty bad.
Would not be the first time I've seen it, I will tell you that.
Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. I'm going to check. That's really the only other place where something would be. And it's hard to see on camera, but I can visually inspect. Yep. The clog is the filters in the Cyclone. So the Cyclone has actually gotten dirty enough where it's restricting to the point where it sounds like a clog.
One of my favorite things about this Cyclone is it's actually very easy and quick to strip
Oh, this is
entirely apart.
super easy to service, and hopefully we get to show that on camera later, because that's actually one of the better things.
It may not be this particular machine, but we have that.
Yeah, we have two. So we have two of these to do.
This one we're just checking out. The other one's ready to go. I just gotta.
This is the more common of the variants too.
Yes,
so
the
that's
yellow one is the
most common, followed by the purple, and
Yes.
then we also have a white one, which is kind of weird.
That's what we're going to be working on.
All right. So we've determined that the clutch is bad. The brush roller, it's got some hair in it, but it's actually the bearings are right in the brush roller.
Yeah.
So we need a clutch, a filters, and it's going to need to be cleaned.
Thoroughly.
This is going to be almost as expensive as buying, a new vacuum.
Almost, yeah.
This is going to be kind of expensive, and this isn't going to be, and this is something.
And I strip these all the way, as you will see,
As we'll show a little later.
I do strip the entire machine apart. I scrub them completely. I do a very thorough job on these. Nobody else in this business does them as thoroughly as I do.
I want to talk about. I think I do them as thorough.
Well, you do, but you're not technically in the business anymore.
And spoiler alert, folks, if you haven't noticed on the channel, for about a year now, I've been kind of out of the industry, and occasionally I come help a friend out here, and
Yes.
that's it. So, but as you see, videos have continued as normal. So back to why would somebody repair a 14? And I'm going to tell you the reason why somebody would repair a 14. One, they don't make models that don't have a swivel neck. Not everybody likes a swivel neck. Two, this cleans significantly better than any current model Dyson right now.
I would agree with that.
I would say except for the small Dyson, the DC50, this cleans better. And the DC50 isn't appropriate for most houses. This cleans better than the stick vacs. This cleans better than most of the machines that have a ball. So this isn't the best cleaning Dyson, but it's better than what you can buy off the shelf at Walmart right now.
And oftentimes, unless Yeah, unless they're willing to go to a higher quality bagged machine, they are better off, if it's repairable, staying with.
And this is repairable. In fact, I would almost bet money, 50% chance the customer is going to want to put a lot of money into this.
Oh, I guarantee we'll probably have little trouble approving it for all the parts and stuff it needs.
Now, for all those watching in the UK or in the European Union, you know, granted, when this airs, if, you know, the European Union hasn't killed the internet and all that drama going on, you have a higher wattage motor in Europe on these legacy models than you would if you bought a new one, so you're able to get a more powerful vacuum. So that's another reason overseas why somebody would fix this. So let's call the customer, see what's happening, and we'll turn the camera back on, either with this one or one like it. So we're taking apart a DC-14 Cyclone, and I discovered that my friend here, he pops this off. I actually just get to it with a long brush.
Yeah, you can, but it's easier to do it this way.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with doing that. It does make it easier, especially if you're going to put it in a dishwasher.
And it makes it nicer to set like this when you're taking these screws in and out.
Yeah, that is nicer. So, now I've learned something today, and hopefully you folks at home have too. Those are all T15. The interesting thing is the gasket material they use on this is much better than the newer ones.
Yep, I'm the Bernina guy.
Well, I'm Alex. Nice to meet you.
Hey!
Nice to meet you.
I used to be a Bernina guy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I used to.
Yeah, this is the
I
guy
used
I
to work
talked
at
about that was in
Albuquerque
Mexico.
and all those.
Oh, the Unsold store? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, I am way back in the day.
Yeah.
So, what are you up to? Ugh, looks like a Dyson to me. You guys doing a video here?
Oh my. Alright, that needs to be washed, and that is why you wash Dyson. And do you have the gasket? I want to show the gasket. So this actually has a rubber or some sort of synthetic gasket versus the styrofoam ones they have today. So we're going to wash this off and go backward.
You know how we solve this problem?
How?
Just like this.
Oh. Well, I believe that's the final solution.
We did get this good. Oops. These things are... Okay. Shove that thing through.
So the wire was taken out of there because you actually pulled it down to the motor.
Yes, I stripped
and washed it.
It's the easiest way. Otherwise you'll be spending, and you'll never get it as clean.
Yeah.
If you don't do that. You will, I mean, look at all this. I mean, how else are you going to get this clean out if you don't wash it?
Well, compressed air, paintbrush, and then you can... the alternative that I've done is I've sprayed it with chemical cleaner with the paintbrush and wiped it down really thoroughly with a rag, but that's never really as good.
And it's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it ends up being about the same amount of time as breaking it down and washing it.
I think sometimes that stuff takes longer, especially if because I'm not good at doing it that way. I'm only good at washing it in the sink.
That's the way to do it. And no filter goes below on the DC-14, even though it has the same filter door. And you've seen a customer put a filter in both places, right?
Yes. Or try to tell us that we stole their filter.
Yeah.
Well...
He's gonna bring in the Shark Navigator.
Oh, joy.
I'm gonna... that's how we do that. So this is how good my boy here is. He got this all back together. The time it took me to check in, maybe the fastest check-in, under 2 minutes of a machine with a customer when I stopped the camera. He's got this damn thing back together and looking like new. So we have another one we're going to do, and we're going to end up having to splice in with this one over here some of this footage, because we missed a few steps because he is lightning fast. Hope he wants to just quickly get a few more scratches off. You know, these white-bodied ones were always, they made the blueprint and they made, this is the full reach or whatever, full kit. These always kind of a little bit marked up.
Well, and some people really gouge these things into their furniture.
Yeah, Dysons usually clean up pretty well. I have to say that one thing to Dyson.